Julian, Annalie, Secret Society of Goths. I knew about you already. It wasn't that secret. Look at all you nice people. Very prompt. I appreciate that. I appreciate that you are on time. We are here 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. We being me, alone, more socially isolated than even usual here at my house. Yep, this is it. Got a wall. So I'm here to discuss with you the things I've been doing lately in these times. Thank you, everyone. Look, I see this. I've never done this before. It's very awkward. I feel that at some point you should be texting me to go get lube and send me coins, which would make me more comfortable. You don't have to send me the tokens. First, before we begin, I would like to say that I really appreciate all of you coming. The review of what I've been up to lately that I have is luxuriously pleasant. And I know a lot of people out there are really, really suffering and really going through some hard times, be they practical or emotional. And I am very, very grateful throughout all of this for the position that I'm in, and that the list that I'm about to give you of what I've been doing and what I've been enjoying lately can be what it is, because not a lot of people have the opportunity to take the time to do the things that I'm doing to make myself sane and happy throughout all this. And having that luxury in part is due to each and every one of you. So not only do I appreciate you giving me the list that I'm about to give you of things that I really enjoy doing during these times, but I appreciate, the opportunity of you caring to hear about it. I can't imagine someone wanting to hear about this, but here you are. Hello, everyone. Is it The Cure? What are you asking? Am I listening to? No, that's Nurse with Wound, if you can hear that. So anyways, let's get into it. This is what I've been doing lately. I'm probably going to list far more than 5 things, but I was directed to list 5 things that I've enjoyed doing during my period of social isolation, which I'm very happy to take part in, because people, we need to flatten that curve across the world. So I'm in here hiding, and while I've been hiding, one of the things that has brought me much joy is something that brings me much joy in my regular life that I've adapted to a life of isolation, and that is, of course, actually all of these things you could, if anyone knows much about me, you're going to be able to guess generally what I'm about to say. So working out, being active, being physically active is what is really the center of my day. It's the core of my day here at home. And in a way, it's the core of my everyday life when I'm not on the road. Although when I am on the road, I do implement exercise into the day every day. I'm a bit obsessive about it. However, I feel there are worse things to be obsessed about. I know there are worse things to be obsessive about. It just makes me feel very, very good. What I do at home is a twist on my regular workouts. I am very lucky to have a little outdoor space that a lot of people don't have. So I go in my backyard. I have a couple of kettlebells that I work out with. I start the day by doing a great triangle workout, a little pyramid workout of push-ups and pull-ups. I don't have a bar anywhere near me, so my brother lent me his pull-up bar that you could hook on the door. I wake up, I brush my teeth, I do as many push-ups as I can, and then I meditate, which I'll get into that later, and then I do as many push-ups as I can, and then I stretch, and then I do as many push-ups as I can. And then I do a pyramid of different pull-up activities next, before I start my workout. So then I start a workout, and I've cut it into upper body and lower body. For people who aren't gym people, this has got to be already unbelievably boring. But the essence of it is that it brings me both really, really great positive physical reaction in my body, which then attaches to your mind state. And both in isolation and out of isolation, I have found that working out really, really gives me peace of mind. It makes me feel good. So that's something that I really look forward to every day upon waking in isolation. And following that, I know a lot of you, thank you for saying it's not boring, you're kind. Now I'm glancing down again, very awkward. I know a lot of you have inquired when you discovered that I was going to be here speaking a monologue into my phone, which, by the way, you can't do this on a laptop. Did you guys know that? Didn't know that. Can't do it on a laptop. I'm holding up my laptop right now. My forearm is probably going to give before the end of this. Not boring, thank you. Meditating. Something I actually look forward to every day as well. It's something that I haven't been doing my whole life, and along with eating a plant-based diet, it is the second thing that I truly, truly wish I've been doing since I was, well, I mean, can't do it when you were born, but for the entirety of my life. I wish I had started practicing mindful meditation from a very early age. I've been a vegan. I've been consuming a plant-based diet for much, much longer than I've been meditating, but I've been meditating for years. And live people, story people, you're probably out there too. I gotta tell you, it is really, really a wonderful exercise to put you at peace. Now, to be clear, the meditation that I take part in, the meditation that I practice, has no higher power involved. There is no deity involved. It is pure mindfulness. It is pure science. And I use a great app that's called Headspace, which, if you're interested in this, if anyone out there is having a hard time emotionally with what's going on, which I'm sure you are, I could not encourage exercise and mindful meditation more. It's difficult. I've been doing it for years. If you give either of these things a try and you're struggling with it, everyone does. Everyone struggles with it. It's difficult to learn the practice, but just as everything else, as you make it a part of your life and as you do it every day, you slowly get better at it. And the effects, actually, though the effects are far greater than what you perceive your ability to be at the beginning of learning to do something like mindful meditation. Again, no silly deity or superpowers or mysticism here. It is pure mind-body focus. Which actually, to be honest, you guys, to be honest again, if I may say that, once I started meditating, it helped me become a better singer, because I made a connection between what my vocal coaches have taught me over the years. I have a wonderful vocal coach in Santa Monica named Carol Tingle. And part of being able to sing properly and use proper singing technique, which then allows you to sing with greater ease and greater excellence, is having a mind-body connection and focusing on your breath. And that is actually what's going on in meditation. It gives you a focus on your body. And again, I don't want this to sound esoteric or mystical. It's very scientific. So that is something that I do every day before I work out, and then I work out. I'm going to pause here before I look at my notes to see what I was planning on talking to you next about, and just read some of your comments here. So is something about marijuana. I don't know what that would be. No, I don't smoke marijuana, but it went away really quick. Oh, you guys are all commenting so quickly. 14 others requested be in. Headspace helps with my mental health, and it's amazing, right? I'm sorry I missed your name, but it's really wonderful. Choice of plant protein is with all those push-ups. Okay, that's a great question. When I start talking about eating, which will be later in this, what is going to be a long monologue, I'm sorry, remind me to talk about plant protein. Just to tell you right now, here's the news, here's the tea, ready for this? All plants have protein in it. All plants. There's a fraction of protein in plant life. So it's very, very easy to get protein. But we'll get to that. I look beautiful. That's really kind, because my eyebrows are crawling all over my face. They're soon to consume my entire face. The hair is very large, hence the hood. But actually, we have a little Suavecita blow dry cream. So if you're a blow dryer, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you, there's this great LA brand of down-to-earth people who make cruelty-free hair products that are really good. And there's the Suavecita brand. I don't know why they feel we men don't want to blow dry cream, but we do. Anyways, I digress. I was looking at your comments, which I'm sure you're okay with, but I'm going to move on to the plan. Where were we? So, another favorite thing of mine to do during this time in isolation is something that I do in my isolated moments when I'm off the road and even on the road and on planes, and something I've been taking advantage of while I'm here, and that is working on the book. If you don't know, I've written 2 novels. They're all right. I think the second one is far better than the first. Some of you may have read them, some of you may have not. I have finished the manuscript for a 3rd novel. It's quite a mess. My dear friend Adam, who actually has made some of the best videos that I've ever been a part of, in my opinion. Adam Mason is responsible for the past 3 Black Audio videos. He did The Vials, he did First to Love, and he did Anointed, which, again, I really feel they're some of the best videos I've been a part of. And he did one of my favorite AFI videos, Aurelia. He's helping me edit my book. So in these times, I receive notes from him and I go through the book and I try to make it more clear, because I have this arcane way of writing and probably a way of speaking. So I just want you to be able to understand what I'm trying to achieve when I'm writing this book. So I spend a lot of time doing that, which I really enjoy. It's something that I can do creatively by myself, and I get a lot of joy from it. So any of you who have ever read any of my books, I gotta say I really appreciate it, because I know you to get involved with me to have to read a book, and if you've done so, it's a big ask. People don't read books, so thank you. Actually, speaking of books, Pants and I, who's my publisher at Black Candy, we were talking about possibly someday doing some chapbooks, because I had the thought of maybe releasing chapbooks, little limited edition, small books of essentially like poetry, which would be not actual poetry, but unused lyrics. Well, not unused lyrics, but lyrics of songs that I've written over the years that have never made it, which there are many of, be it from AFI or Dreamcar or Black Audio or Extremist. They're all there. And it's something I've thought about doing for years, because a lot of times in the writing process, I write something that I feel really important, but then the song doesn't end up being that great as a song, and it disappears. So this is really a self-serving move. So I don't know if any of you would ever want to read any of that, but maybe we'll put it together. Right now, I actually found, I'm pointing over to the closet that I searched for them in, and I found reams of AFI lyrics dating from 97 at the earliest, through the notebooks, through December Underground. And a lot of unused songs in there. Prior to that, the Shut Your Mouth, Shut Your Mouth is there, but The Very Proud of Ya and Answer That period of AFI and my part in songwriting didn't have a lot of unreleased songs. You've pretty much heard everything that's been released there, whereas starting from really 98, there became a lot more music that was created and then scrapped, where I have full lyrics of songs. Most importantly to me is trying to have Pants get the laptops that have the lyrics from the Burials era that did not make it, as well as the Blood that I think I erased, because that's the type of person I am. I just threw them away. So I wish I hadn't, really. I usually don't regret that kind of thing, but Pants says he can get in there and try to find them. So maybe someday we'll do that. Anyway, right now I'm working on the third novel, which is fiction. And if you've read any of the other 2, it's in the same world. This time Score Massey is back to being the protagonist. And hey, if you're listening, this is what it's about. Score Massey is now a very influential influencer, obviously. And a vindictive vlogger gets his account shut down. So the novel starts with him suicidal on the way to one of Coachella Weekend One's hottest parties, and he plans to kill himself there, but is waylaid when he gets involved with an urban witch who is part of a Hollywood witch war for control of Hollywood and pop stars and influencers. And it's a satire, and it's completely out of control. And I think if you like the last books, you'll probably like this, if I get it right. So yeah, that's one of the things I'm working on. And I'm looking at your comments right now. Oh my God. Yes, Score. Yes, Score's back. He's really, really out of control. Thank you. Again, it's satire. It's not a lot of... Well, I'll let you read it. No, that'll probably... Okay, let's see. It sounds amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Book giveaway. Yeah, I think I usually give away books. Do I not? I should give... I think we give away books every time. I don't know. I usually sign them. Anyway, thank you for being here and commenting and liking. It makes me feel like far less awkward. I've been reading a lot. So I like to write. I like to read. This has been a really, really great time for me to catch up on some of the reading that I've been wanting to do for a long time. But being that I'm usually writing, I don't take the time to read because I use all that free time to move further in the narrative of the stories that I write. But the way I'm editing right now, waiting for notes from Adam, I have more time to read. And I finished... what did I just read? I read a great novel that Nils, by way of Wes, both Cold Cave members, suggested to me, that is called Tampa. And it is very disturbing and it is very uncomfortable. And I think if you enjoy the books that I write, this is something that you would also enjoy. The author's name is, let's see. This was the first book I have read by her, so I need to look at my notes. Books. It'll come to me. I can't believe I didn't write this down. Are these the wrong notes? Oh yeah, I grabbed the wrong notes. Maybe I'll walk with you and get the notes so I can figure that out. I think anyways, this book is Tampa. It's a great novel. It's very dark. If you like Todd Solondz films, I recommend this. It's similar to a Todd Solondz film in that way. Well, I lost my notes. Who cares? Right now I'm reading the follow-up to Under the Big Black Sun, which is a history of the first wave of punk rock in Los Angeles. I am listening to, you guys, what is this called? What is the follow-up called? It's the name of the X record. Okay, Alyssa Nutting, thank you. So Alyssa Nutting, Nils, thank you there. It says Nils, who recommended me the book, said Alyssa Nutting. You guys, what's the X record that the second punk history of LA that John Doe curated is? Fun Times in the New World? What is it? Oh, here it is. It's right here. So De Silva and John Doe wrote More Fun in the New World, which I'm reading right now. I mean, how bad was that flow? Whew, bad radio. We're not on radio. We're on Instagram Live. Yeah. Anyway, if you like music at all, even if you don't like punk rock, if you like music history, these two books, Under the Big Black Sun, and what's it called? Clearly, I didn't listen to that X record. And More Fun in the New World are wonderful, wonderful snapshots of what happened in Los Angeles at the time. It's got the punk houses. It's got the first book has the Mass. The second book goes into Cafe de Grand, and just the East LA scene coming in with Los Lobos in this one. It's really moving. Like for me, whenever I really like reading nonfiction, particularly about the artists that are responsible for me being who I am today. And these two books are really, really wonderful reads, and I really encourage you reading them if you like Los Angeles punk rock, or if you like punk rock at all, or if you again like music history. John Doe did a great job. The format of these books is similar to that of We've Got the Neutron Bomb in a way, because they interview different people, but these books are based on chapters. So one chapter will be written by John Doe, and another chapter will be written by Jane Weedland of the Go-Go's, who, if some of you don't know that, forgive me if I'm telling you something you already know, but the Go-Go's were part of the first wave punk scene in Los Angeles. I mean, those women were the real deal. So I've been reading that. It is wonderful. Also, Nils, thank you for that. If you out there, if you people do not know Cold Cave, I really encourage you to listen to Cold Cave. Wes and Nils are the gentleman in Cold Cave who recommended that to me, and it's just really good. Cold melodic, cold wave, dark wave. I don't know; those are new terms. It's really kind of synth-based post punk to me. A little bit of Gary Newman, a little bit of Fad Gadget, a little bit of Human League, and then sometimes some Jesus and Mary Chain, but modern and with a little twist on it. And Wes is the real deal. He knows what's going on. So I encourage you to listen to that. And if any of you are David Lynch fans, I actually didn't realize that he had this memoir, Room to Dream, which was written by David and Christina McKenna. If you are a Lynch fan, wow, it's so moving. Speaking of genuine artists, as I was talking about the Go-Go's and the LA punk scene, David Lynch, you don't get more real than David Lynch. And when you're reading this novel, it really illustrates what a true artist he was. And when using the word punk rock in ethos, none more punk than David Lynch. The way that he infuses music into his work, the way that he is absolutely unflagging in the creations that he needs to make. He does not change for anyone, and I really, really respect that. And what results is the wonderful works that we've seen in his films and his television shows. This book is romantic. It's really beautiful, and the way that it is written is over the course of David's career in fine art, in film, in making shorts, and commercials. People are interviewed who were part of his life, and they tell the tale of the era. It's broken into eras of Eraserhead and the Elephant Man and his first art show, so on and so forth. And then after, in the very same chapter, David comments on having read the chapter and gives his view of what happened at the time and what he remembered and he didn't remember. If you're a fan, again, it is really, really a great read. And that leads me into next topic, which will be brief, which is watching things. I've enjoyed watching things, but I've really only enjoyed watching literally two things in a whole. Again, usually I spend my free time socializing or writing the novels. And so I don't spend a lot of time. I rarely watch any film or television at home. If I am going to watch something, I will go to the theater, just because I enjoy it. I enjoy the ritual of it, and I enjoy the theaters. And when you're next in Los Angeles, if you're not here already, when we all get through this, which we will, go to the ArcLight. It's a great experience. It's been there for a long time. I watched Twin Peaks, the third season, for the first time. I hadn't watched it. And that was really joyous. Honestly, I teared up a couple times. If you've seen it, there are little treats that David Lynch gave us in that third series that make the fans of 30 years tear up. And it was, for me, it was perfect. It was so infused with Lynchian moments, and that's what I want. I love him because he's him, so the more Lynch, the better, and that's what that third season was. I also got to watch a film, which if you have the opportunity to watch this, I really encourage it. It is called Portrait of a Lady on Fire, and I'm missing the director here. I didn't write it down, but it's called Portraits of a Lady on Fire. I really, really wanted to see it before we all went into social isolation, and it was at this theater in LA for a day, disappeared, and then came back into theaters, into art houses for a few days before we went into isolation. And so I was sad I didn't get to see it, but it's now available online. And it's a French film, and it is a beautiful, beautiful film. It is certainly one of the best films I've seen in a long time. The lighting, the acting, the narrative. I think it won the Palme d'Or for screenplay, and it should have. It's beautiful. Look it up. It's a story of, I believe, 19th century girl who's being married off, who is struggling with the tragedy of being married off like an object. And in order to be married off, her portrait needs to be painted. And she won't sit for an artist, so the mother hires a female artist to come and pretend to be her friend. And it goes from there. If you watch the trailer, it will reveal more than I did. I'm not into spoiling films for you. So, if you hear my voice is dropping, I need to speak up here. I'm not using proper vocal technique as I'm speaking, which will damage your voice, which Aaron Axelson from San Francisco radio fame will attest. Because if you speak incorrectly, you get nodes like I had. A couple of times. Mine were cysts. If you want to know. So, working out, reading, writing, meditating, watching a couple things every once in a while. Those are some of my favorite things. But I think that's 5, but I'm not done. I'm going to keep talking if that's all right with you. I'm going to read some of your stuff as I pause to catch my breath here. Someone's sad. I wonder why Sarah's sad. Yeah, I'd be sad if I was just staring at me talk, to be honest. I get you, Sarah. You could always sing us a little something. Let me see. Again, I think I hurt my voice talking. I want to start from before the beginning. Loot wine be mine, and then let's stay out for the night. What's the lyric? Wine via parkside, semi-perilous lives. Jill the lights in the windows of all safe and stable homes. But wondering then, well, what could peace of mind be like? Anyway, do you want to hear a story or not? As the Fulham Row lights stretch and invite... Okay, that's enough. So what else do I do? After I'm done working out, after I've done meditating, I make a very sad attempt at yoga. Actually, after working out, I've started trying to do yoga. Live people, your singer can't stretch. He's unflexible. It's an ugly thing to watch. I hope you never have to see it. But I have a goal. I have a goal to be able to do a downward dog and not embarrass myself by the time we get out of here. I don't think I'll reach that goal, but I'm going to try. Also, something that I'm not very good at is cooking. I don't cook very much. I generally am not inclined to cook for myself. I often eat out. I'm lucky to be in Los Angeles, which has some of the best restaurants in the world. I've, at this time, been diligent to order takeout and be very diligent to... I prefer to go get it because I've seen the precautions that my favorite restaurants take, and I feel that is the most responsible action. So get the takeout from the Crossroads or the Shojin or the Pura Vida. So if you have restaurants where you are, I encourage you to support that you love. I encourage you to support them. And if you can't and you're cooking for yourself, you can cook like me. I, of course, am cooking. I mean, that is really broad use of the word cooking. It's generous. I prepare food as best as I can, all plant-based, of course, because, I mean, it is humanity's eating of animals that got us where we are right now. It's true. Most pandemics are caused by humans consuming animals. Look it up. It's true. And you're like, I don't care about animals. I want to hear about the yams that you're cooking. Okay. Yams. I make yams. I bake yams. I fucked a lot of them up. My friend Aaron Elliott is one of the best chefs I know. He told me how to fix them. I still couldn't fix them. I finally fixed them. That's what I eat. I eat a lot of yams. I eat a lot of oatmeal. This is the type of stuff that I eat in general when I'm preparing food for myself. I like to put peanut butter in my oatmeal, sugar-free, salt-free peanut butter. I put a little date, a little medjool, chopped medjool date in there for sweetness, which is a natural sweetener, which has a lot of fructose in it, a lot of sugar. If you eat a lot of those, it is caloric, but it is far better for the body than other sugars. What are you guys talking about here? Favorite breakfast? I actually don't eat breakfast. Yeah, prior to what I'm about to tell you, I do intermittent fasting. Which it's inconclusive whether that has a positive effect on your body or not, scientifically speaking, but I found that it has a really positive effect on my energy and my body. But prior to that, I'm not a morning person. I don't like being awake in the morning, and when I am, I'm not hungry. So I usually don't consume a calorie until after I've done working out. Someone asked earlier, favorite plant-based milk. Trend beverages, I am the market. So for years, if there's ever been a trend health beverage, I'm the one who's out there buying it. I love oat milk. I love Oatly. I ordered a case of the barista blend of the Oatly, which you couldn't get forever, and now you can get. Ironically, now when you can't get many things, I ordered some Oatly. I make my Timeless cappuccinos with those. Timeless sends me beans. I support them. I pay them, and they send me beans. So for those of you who are asking about celery juice, yeah, I got in on that a little bit. My brother was hotter on it than I was. It is great. I mean, consuming anything green, so back to what I'm eating, I do at this point, because I am cooking for myself, go out of my way to try to acquire fresh greens, and I steam them. And I'll put a little coconut amino acids on them, or maybe if I'm feeling wild, I'll put some Follow Your Heart cheese on it. You know what I've been eating, you guys? It's wild, because the thought of consuming actual eggs really, really makes me nauseous, not just politically, but just physically. The smell of eggs to me is not good. Just Egg, I'm a vegan commercial. Just Egg is this vegan egg that I started getting into in isolation, and it's very easy to prepare, and I'll put mushrooms in it and make it with some olive oil, and maybe put a little pesto sauce. And I don't make the pesto sauce, but if you want to eat vegan and you can cook, there are tons of great vegan recipes online. Blood clot. You could talk to John Joseph. I'm sure he'd be happy to tell you how to cook more involved dishes than what I'm doing, but I enjoy them. But yeah, those are some of the things that I'm eating. Again, someone asking me about protein again. I like cucumbers. I like cucumbers in my water and on my eyes, which I should get, because again, we're in isolation and we could use some hydration. Yeah, you like the Just Egg? Yeah, I don't even know. You said a sauce. My husband's vegan. He's just like you. Oh, I hope, sir or gentleman, that he's not just like me. And hopefully only the vegan part. Sir or ma'am. Yeah, right? They make good omelets. I've been treating myself with Beyond Burgers. I gotta be honest, there's some Beyond stuff happening here at my house a little bit. I will put the Italian sausage into the scramble that I make with the Just Egg. And you guys, live people, I'm gonna be honest. Again, I don't really say I'm going to be honest in my real life, so this is something between just you and I. Phrases like that make me exhausted. But I am confessing. Treats. This has been happening in isolation. My father sent me from Love Berries, which is a part of a fruit order site that's called California Fruit, and they're these vegan chocolate covered strawberries. They're unreal. I'm telling you gotta try them. I've been having those, and the other night, my friend Lexi and I were on a FaceTime, which again, in isolation, that brings up something else that I'm doing in isolation. I've been FaceTiming a little bit, which is something that I normally would never do. I don't like it. But at these times, there's opportunities that I've had that I wouldn't have otherwise to spend time with people in the way I'm spending time with you right now, that I normally wouldn't have. And that's something I've really, really been enjoying, is the free time to engage, though not anywhere closer than 6 feet away from anyone, with my friends via the technology that we are enjoying right now. So my friend Lexi was telling me how she had ice cream delivered from my chef friend who told me how to make the sweet potatoes. Again, I didn't follow it correctly. He's one of the best chefs I've ever known, Aaron Elliott. I'm going to have to put the phone... I'm sorry. I'm back. What was I talking about? I have left the house once, I believe, in the past 4 weeks to go get food, because I've been doing delivery a lot with the grocery products. And it was to get ice cream at Cocobella. They released, there's a vegan ice creamery here in Los Angeles. They are correct that they are essential, so they're still open. I was not near a human being. I was in a mask. It was actually a pretty good look, I gotta be honest. We paired it well with the outfit. Not too far off from my regular look. I went and ate ice cream. Yeah, it was dark. It was delicious. They had banana cream pie. There were bits of pie in the fresh banana ice cream. So I have been treating myself, but I've been working out very, very, very hard. Part of what I'm enjoying about being in isolation and having to switch my workout is something that many of you may or may not know, is that when you get into a routine, your body begins to get used to the motions and you stop improving. And so being forced to switch like I am when I go on the road or I go into isolation causes your body to react in different ways and is very helpful. So mask tour, please. We'd all have to be like the audience. We could sell a room of 1,000 to 20 people. Aren't I married? I am not married. I wonder who you thought I was married to. I bet they were gorgeous. So, other than eating and cooking yams, really, I've got a few other things that I do. I love once or twice a week having the opportunity to do my radio show that is not my radio show, but is Lindsay Parker's radio show on Volume West, which is channel 106 on Sirius XM, and it's a talk radio show. If you don't know, I do that. I'm usually on Mondays. When we're not in isolation, I'm on Mondays from 4 to 6 p.m., but now I'm usually on Mondays 5 to 6. Sometimes I'm on for an hour another day a week. They announce it on Twitter. I try to stay diligent in announcing it, but as you guys know, I'm not really great at social media. Apologies. But it's a music talk show. It's a great time. Last episode, we spoke to two of the creators of RuPaul's Musicals, which are drag queen musicals that are featured on RuPaul's Drag Race. It's a good time. I really enjoy doing that. I really enjoy getting to engage with Alex and Lindsay. Alex is our host. Alex is our producer. Lindsay is my host. I'm a co-host. And it's kind of like this and just talking about music, but we can hear each other and then it airs. So that's really fun for me. And to close up, music. Just as in the rest of my life and my whole existence, music carries me through my day, is one of my favorite things to ingest here in isolation. And I've been listening to a lot of ambient music, to be honest. I said it again. I'm going to hang up on you and then next time I say to be honest, so not counting that one. I'm just upset with myself. I've been listening to a lot of ambient music. My friend Moby texted me at the onset of this as we first closed in and started to really... you guys lost me. I don't know why that happened. So my friend Moby texted me early on in this and said that he's been listening to a lot. He said, to be clear, he said, I know this is strange, but I wrote this music for me to fall asleep to and to ease me, and I found it's really enjoyable at these times. So Moby has written some really great ambient works, and that was on rotation here for days and days and days. I also did some Eno and some Fripp and of Coil. I'm always listening to Coil. There's a lot of classics that I've been listening to at the time. Nurse with Wound and Coil. A lot of This Mortal Coil. And my friends have suggested some stuff. My buddy Aaron Nagel, knowing my love for neo-folk, suggested some folk black metal by, I'm going to butcher this, Mjørker, I believe her name is, a Danish songstress who has really beautiful folk metal. Her latest album is my favorite. There's no screaming in it. I don't want to hear that, and she's not doing it, which is great. But if you like screaming in your folk metal, then I think the rest of her albums has that too. And then my friend Rach suggested Anna von Wolfhouse, who her early stuff is very Kate Bush-esque, and then later it gets into kind of a Dead Can Dance chambery thing. There's a little Ani DeFranco in there. She's wonderful. Those two women are really cool additions to my regular listening that are new. And I know she was about to tour Swans, one of my favorite acts, and I was listening to a lot of Angels of Light as well. So that is generally what I'm listening to. I think that's Nurse with Wound. I'm staring at my speaker that we're hearing right now. And so that's what I do. That's what I enjoy. My wrist hurts from holding up the laptop that I'm using to hoist my iPhone in front of me. So live people, we've come to a close. This is the end of my rambling. Take a breath. You made it. I appreciate you sustaining all of this and being here. Again, I appreciate you allowing me, being part of a history that allows me to have that be my day in these times. And I genuinely hope all of you are doing as well as possible. If you're physically feeling poorly and can, I encourage exercise. If you're mentally down, I encourage books, art of any sort that you enjoy, and I really do encourage meditation. Thank you so much for being here, caring about what I have to say.